Welcome back to the Bay Area Examiner and Filmer. My name's Seth Varnadore. I'm going to take a look at last week's USF victory against the Charlotte 49ers. Like I said previously, I didn't get to watch the game live, so I didn't quite understand all the hand wringing when I saw the stats and the final score from the game. But going back and watching it, it makes a little more sense. So let's go ahead and get right into it here. So we've got 3rd and 10 here, first drive of the game. USF's going to call some routes past the sticks here. Byron does a good job. Charlotte does have a spy. They rush 3 and leave a spy here. But they're dropping everybody else underneath. So Byron does a good job of kind of beating guys to the spot there to pick up the first down. So come back a little bit later in the drive, 2nd and 10. You're going to insert. All right, so you've got hitches down here. You've got inserting back to this backside backer there, and they're running screen up top. So you've got options before the play. If you're the quarterback, right? He could probably throw the hitch out here if he wants to, it seems like, with how far off the screen they are. But hands the ball off. There's nothing wrong with that. When in doubt, hand it off. Good job in the box of getting up to the backers. Right, these plays can get killed sometimes if this guy's really fast over the top. And even though you got one for him, if we don't get off the combos quick enough, right, this backside backer can make the play here because it is right now I've got 6 on 6. So theoretically, I've got guys for everybody. So good job here. I think that's Cole Best getting up to the backer. And then good run by Cartavius Norton here, who was plus 110 to score a touchdown. Hits it within a minute of game time here. So really good stuff all around there. And good decision to give the run. So good fast start. So other side, USF is showing pressure here. You got 4 guys at line of scrimmage. Linebackers up pretty tight as well. See at the snap, they're going to drop out and play coverage. You're only going to bring 4 guys. But what you're trying to do here is get the protection slid this way. I'm not sure what Charlotte's protections are for sure, if they're a 3-man slide team or a 4-man slide team. Regardless, if you get the protection slid this way, you're going to get a 1-on-1 backside with your end. And then probably at worst, you're going to get a 1-on-1 with Mac Harris here on a guard is what they're thinking. And the back ends up coming to help, but he splits them. You get a hold here, pretty blatant. It's not called, I don't believe. Force the quarterback out of the pocket. So you get some nice pressure here, but only rush 4. So a real safe pressure. That's why the quarterback's got to pull this thing down and isn't able to convert the 3rd down. 1st and 15 coming back the other way. You're going to insert again here. Similar look on the touchdown play. Don't get quite as much thump here on the insert, and you see the difference here. Couple things. Safety's rolling down, and this backer is able to kind of get over the top a little bit quicker than the previous time, right? You're not able to get up to the backer here. Right, so right there, I don't got anybody for this guy. So it's going to be up to the back to kind of make him miss in the hole. Again, outside, you got the hitch. Down here, you've got screen. Wouldn't be a bad idea if I wanted to rip the hitch up top or throw the screen because you got a blocker and you've got the corners kind of bailing here. But Charlotte shows too high initially, then rolls to kind of a more of a one high look here. So nobody gets up to the backer. The backer's able to fit in here right now. So like the last play, the Cartavius Norton touchdown, right, we're able to get combo up to that backer and take care of him with the offensive line. Here you weren't able to. And he caused that pile and helps rip that football out. And the worst part about a couple of these turnovers is you're in pretty good field position. You're if you just take 3 knees, you're probably getting 3 points from here at least, right? So that's the unfortunate part. You had good field position with a chance to add more points to the board. So you score as many as they did, and you leave points on the board. That's a good feeling, I guess. But it could have been better. Which is always, you'd rather be better than worse than a loss, right? Or you'd rather be, if you're worse, you'd rather be in a win than a loss. So 1st and 10 here. You got switch releases. I'm not sure if it looks like it's possibly mirrored to where outside releasing, kind of running the outside stem here, like a comeback or a wide curl. He's going to inside release and run a dig. And it looks like it might be mirrored down here as well. So we might have the same thing on the bottom there. Good kind of zone beater here. Or if let me draw it. So they might be mirrored on both sides here. Good ball here by Byram. Good catch. Way to go up high and get it. But you see here, looks like you had digs from both sides and probably out there. So if they compress this dig, these apexes compress the dig, you should be able to work the ball outside. They stay wide. You got a chance to hit the dig in one of these windows. They do. And then great run after a catch here for the touchdown. A little slip there on pass protection almost cost you, but Byram does a good job of getting the ball out on time and throwing a nice catchable ball in a good spot, right? Too low, they can make a play on it, so that one's got to be high. Great job here going up to catch this thing and high pointing that ball, coming down with an awesome run after catch for the touchdown. All right, so I put this play on here. You're going to show kind of a loaded front and then back out here, 3rd and 14. But the importance of this play is it's just kind of a safe call by Charlotte, right? But the importance is you don't, it's 3rd and 14, so you could give up 13 and they're still not going to, go for it, right? They're not going to go for 4th and 1 of this deep. So, but you stay kind of aggressive. You play the run really well. And what does that give you? It makes them punt out of the end zone, punt backed up. And now you see here, they're trying to – it's kind of a funky punt protection here. They're almost wrapping him around for this front side A gap. I don't know. This seems screwed up to me because you get one guy through the backside A gap. So I'm not sure why they don't just have, it's an interesting punt protection scheme. But USF does have a body for each of these guys here, and then they got 2 coming off for the personal protectors, so they can't help, right? And then I've got enough bodies here. He's going to snap and go, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So I've got this side kind of overloaded in terms of people. So he's flat right now, makes this engage. He's coming to this front side A gap. Right, so you got one coming here to the front side A gap. You got one going here. Or I'm sorry, one going to the back side A gap, one going to this front side A gap, and one coming here in this B gap. Well, he's going to take that. He's going to take that. And I guess the way he's running, he's got to come get this all the way across. But you'll never get there. So good design there on the block. And you just take it right off his foot. I'm assuming threes maybe not supposed to come off this, but they kind of baited him. He took the bait. He had nowhere to go, and so you just get this one shooting free. Nobody there. So good design by the USF special teams. We've seen the USF special teams has been pretty good for Golish's entire tenure, especially the last couple of years. So not shocking to see that. So here's a nice little wrinkle. You got the guard wrapping the kick. So it looks almost like one back counter or one back power. We're only pulling one, right? Or even like a long trap with the back. All right, so typically that could be look like long traps with the back, right? But what USF's going to do is, I'm almost certain, right, you're going to see down blocks. So I'm assuming these guys are doubling back to him. Down block. Probably gap seal for him. Kick. All right, so now we got this linebacker. We don't have anybody for him, but what we're going to do is we're going to fake to the back, and now the back actually becomes the blocker, lead blocker there. Right, so I've got a hat for a hat, essentially. So we fake to the back. He becomes the lead blocker. You see there's the linebacker we didn't have anybody for. There's the back blocking him. Byram bounces this outside. Gets vertical for a nice gain. So nice change up in the run scheme. You're basically faking to a back and allowing him to become your extra blocker. You've seen Alabama did that a lot with Jalen Milroe last year. It's kind of a nice wrinkle off the quarterback run stuff. So 2nd and 8 here, you're going to go what appears to be mesh rail. So first you're going to motion the back out, kind of get this width happening. You're going to get crosser over the ball. So shallow cross over the ball. Some type of vertical route. I'm not sure. He could be running a corner. I don't see it. And then the other shallow cross, the back's motioning out, and then he's running the rail route or really just a wheel route up the sideline. He runs with the rail. He's running across with the shallow cross. That natural pick happens. Really good job there by Byram. So it looks like they actually outside release and run almost like a deep dig or something here, or deep over. But look at Byram do a good job here, kind of waiting for it to come open, seeing it. And then right here, he knows he's going to have this coming across, but this guy's starting to come free here. Watch this little subtle move inside to get away from it. Nice catchable ball. Hits Ruben in stride for the touchdown. All right, so up 23 in the first quarter, and now you get a touchdown, or an interception, rather. Jarvis Lee is playing really well, and you'll see another nice clip from him later. But this is a great look when you see the wider view here, the kind of all-22 look. You're showing kind of pre-snap, like the corners rolled up. You've got one high safety. You've got these guys down on top of number 2. It presents somewhat like possibly cover 1, especially with guys up on the line of scrimmage looking like you might get blitz. It also, at worst, presents like, okay, it's a one single high coverage, right? So I think he thinks it might be 1. He sees this and thinks I can take a shot outside to the go route. But USF's actually rotated a safety over the top that I don't think he saw. So let's go ahead and look at it from this view, right? So right at the snap, let's look at the eyes of the defenders now. It looks like you could convince somebody, okay, this is man. They're playing off man here, right? That's off man. It's one high safety. The corners are rolled up. All right, this is cover one, right? That could be one way to look at it, right? So after the snap, watch what happens here and here. So these guys are both going to, at the snap, rotate back to play a deep zone. Right. So it's hard to tell if it's like 3 cloud or if it's Tampa 2 or something to that effect. But, and then on top of this, you add dropping him out, bringing him as a blitzer. So it's functionally, right, it could be almost like cover 3 where you got 3 deep. You got a flat defender, like a hook curl defender, right? Or you could say it's 2 Tampa possibly if you think they're getting a deep half and he's playing a hard flat here. He's playing a cloud look, and then he's just the Tampa dropper that's playing in the pipe. But either way, it does not function as the quarterback saw it. I think he thinks I'm getting cover 1 out here, so I got to go route. My guy's about to win the go route, which if it was single coverage, maybe he does win the go route, but I don't think he ever saw the nickel dropping back over the top. So really good design, totally tricked the quarterback, I think, and got the interception there. So 3rd and 9, coming back the other way. So put this one up there just because it was just to see, okay, so what's the protection issue here? Just a game and a pretty decent job, I thought, by the back here. But so you see the back is stepped up for what he thinks is this going to be immediate A-gap pressure from this backer. He drops out. Charlotte brings the nose inside to the A-gap there, and then they're going to loop back around here. And then also bring one from there. So you've got to do a really good job of passing this thing off, right? So it almost plays out perfect for USF here. The center just gets picked a little bit and doesn't quite get on it. If your center is able to get back, the back does a good job of getting back across here, and your guard does a good job of stonewalling that. The center just gets beat across face a little bit, and it is a tough look because he's getting kind of run through here, right? So I'm getting picked a little bit by this, but if I could just stay square, might have a chance. But Byram does a really good job getting out of it. But that was from the back right there. That was a really good job in pass pro, right? He was up in this A gap initially for that immediate pressure. You'll see that sometimes, right? If you ever see the back get pushed up close to line of scrimmage, there's probably an A gap blitzer coming, and he's that part of the protection. And then he does a great job kind of adjusting his eyes back out. Now, it's 3rd and 9 here, and you don't convert. But good call there by Charlotte, and that's kind of just want to show what the breakdown was there. So 1st and 10 here. Again, you're in pretty good field position. 1st and 10, going to driving to score. Byram sees an opening, so he takes off. The issue here is, right, you always want to have the ball in your outside arm, the arm closest to the sideline, right? Because where is everybody coming from? Everybody, or most defenders, right, are coming inside out. Typically, now there have been some exceptions when back in the day with Alabama playing, but typically guys don't come off the sidelines to tackle you, right? So if I should have the ball right here in my left arm, because pursuit is coming inside out, if the ball is here, it is much closer to them than it's here, right? If I have the ball in my outside arm, this guy's got to fight through my body to get to it. Right here, it's closest to him. Bang, he punches it out. Whereas if I had the ball in my left arm, that wouldn't be an issue. And then Charlotte recovers. So that's 2 turnovers as you're driving inside the 30-yard line, right? So poor timing. That's something that you got to get cleaned up. And the thing on both of them is they're somewhat fixable issues, right? They're not The first one I think was a bit unlucky. The Alvin Isaac one. He seemed like he had decent control on it, and it just kind of got ripped out. Maybe could have had two hands on it or more firm control, but someone like that one was just kind of sloppy ball handling right there. You've got to have the ball in your outside arm there. Another Jarvis Lee. I want to put this one up because watch, he's blocking him, but watch the move you get here. Starts outside and then jumps back in. Now, if you're going to jump back in like this, you've got to win, right? Because if I jump back inside and I just give this guy the edge, but bang, great job getting downhill and making the play, right? So just really good job here. Setting this up. Bang, bang. Watch this cut inside. Boop. Need a Chris Berman call on that one. All right, so interception. So it looks like you got a play action fake here. You're trying to get this tight end on the crosser. Not sure if he's got to go or a post, but you're going to get a dig back behind it. So it's kind of just Y cross, good old Y cross here. So I'm coming off my fake here. He's getting width and getting depth, right? This is a hard throw. If I don't like that, cancel this. And then you have your dig, and you'll see it here kind of late. Coming into this window right here, cancel that, turn and throw the dig. He kind of hangs on the crosser, it looks like. Whereas I could have turned and just ripped this dig here to Singleton for a big play. Instead, I hang on the dig and then underthrow it a little, or I hang on the crosser, then underthrow it a little bit. And it gets picked. Now, the only thing that's hard to see, I don't think, but it's possible that he was going to go like a sting route, like a shallow sting. When, if that's the case, this ball's just severely underthrown, and some of it's got to get hit. But the kind of double ball pat, right? If I can't throw it right now and I got to kind of double clutch it, that probably tells me I should just drop it to the dig right there behind it. But it's hard to see not on the all-22 if maybe that's what they were working up, that look right there. So Charlie goes down and scores after the turnover. Come back with a little more like wide zone look. Right, when I'm running wide zone, I'm trying to get horizontal movement to create vertical seams, right? So displace guys horizontally to create a vertical seam for the back to one cut and go. So right here, you see I'm getting this horizontal movement right here, pushing guys flat down the line. And now my back can stick his foot in the ground and get vertical. Right there, stick your foot in the ground and get vertical. Safety's got to come down and make the play. That works. And then right here is almost an inverse of the Jonathan Eccles touchdown from previous week, from the previous game, where you've got the screen and go kind of here, right? They've been running enough of this kind of now screen out there. He's going to go like he's blocking. He's going to run up the sideline, right? That's what Eccles kind of got hit on last week a little bit, or the previous week, right? Screen and go. This time the screener is going to, or the screen receiver is going to show for the screen, and then he's going to go inside. So you get switch verticals off of kind of a screen and go look. The protection's good enough to get all the way there. And then Nimrod does a good job after the catch for the touchdown. So nice little switch verticals off a screen look and good protection up front to give you the chance to get there. And good run after catch. So second half, put this one on here because this is 4th and 3. Again, in pretty good field position here. Looks like you might be coming to mesh again. Right, what they scored on. Think you might be getting this. Shallow. But he's to the flat right now. 4th and 3. Right, as soon as I see him kind of squeeze inside, I'm thinking I'm throwing this flat route, right? As soon as he doesn't pass that off, So I see him squeeze down right now. The ball should be coming out right now. A little late. And then even being late, if I make a good throw, I've got a chance. But that ball should be coming out a little quicker. I don't know if the receiver also needs to snap his eyes a little sooner, because you could throw this thing right here. If his eyes are snapped, I could throw it right now, let him run to it. But I'm a little late, and possibly the receiver's late, and then I just got to give him a better ball. If I give him a better ball, he can catch and run this thing, he might go, right? Because I got it out leveraged. I kind of got what I want on the play call. It just didn't hit. So later on, you got 2nd and 8. Here's a little counter look. So I'm going to pull flat and kick. I'm down, down, down. Gap seal hinge. And I'm wrapping for the inside backer. Vertical initially, and then bounces out. Good job on the kick. Good job on the wrap. Nice hard run here for a 1st down. All right, here's the 2nd interception. I'd say I would just probably categorize this as mostly unlucky. I don't know. You don't want to throw it too quick, right? If I just catch and throw, because they're playing off. If I just catch and throw, right, nobody's gotten out really. Now maybe maybe could I have tried to invite these guys in a little bit more to see if I could work around them? I don't know. I think it's kind of just a bit unlucky. Maybe could have tried to kind of invite them more upfield, but right here, if you don't see the ball's been tipped, if I just show you this and I'm saying, hey, you're throwing to this guy, you're thinking, all right, we got a pretty good play because he's going to catch this thing in here, and I've got a convoy for him, right? Instead, it turns into what basically ends up being a pick 6. Byron does a good job staying with it, making the tackle, but you give up the touchdown off that. And again, to me, a somewhat, unlucky play, I'd say, more than anything. So here's a cool look at using motion, right? So they're motioning the tight end all the way out. So what does that do? Because I know sometimes you'll see, well, this motion is fans of stuff's not working, motion's worthless. What is it doing? Watch how it draws the corner out. So now he's got outside leverage, a lot more outside leverage, and then I can run this guy to the post without having to kind of worry about getting super compressed or having a really hard inside release to win leverage. I'm going to win leverage just by my motion here. So motions him out. So now I also get kind of a free release to it on the post route there. Good timing by Byram. Good catch here. Sets you up for a 1st and goal. 2nd and goal here out of the eye. Got Cole Skinner back here at fullback. Jacob Merrifield's the other fullback. So you got some beef back there. And Evan Dangler, coach favorite, fan favorite, is going to sneak out here to the corner. Good hard play action fake. You got one to the corner, one to the flat. Just working to high-low this guy. Good ball, good catch for your 1st touchdown there. And you give it to the big guy to spike. What's better than that? And a little celebration there. So good stuff there in an obvious run situation. So here's another one where you kind of fool the quarterback a little bit. He's thinking, I've got off coverage here. He's playing at the line of scrimmage. You see he doesn't really look too much back here. His eyes are kind of on this side. He sees the pressure. He thinks, all right, I got that. Let me rip it out there. I don't think he ever saw DJ Harris dropping back underneath. I think he assumed he was going to be in the rush. Didn't realize he had dropped out into coverage there. Throws it. Nice play. Good catch there for a turnover. 3rd and 1, you're going to go speed option. Good job by Byram. I mean, he probably could have pitched it, but he sees his weight going this way and knows my line is running kind of a wide zone type look, so I can cut this thing back, get vertical. I only need 1 yard, and then this is just, a guy being a dude here. And Byron Brown is a dude. So a really good run there. Scheme gets you the first down. A dude gets you a touchdown. Bill 4th and 1 of the Gaston Moore here. So, right, they showed a lot of we've seen the counter, we've seen split zone, we've seen insert. Same kind of path, and now I'm leaking the flat, getting vertical, and then you got the crosser with the hard run action coming this way to get eyes and flow going away from it. Good job, good throw, nice catch there, picking up the first down. Then your last touchdown is that insert again. He's going to end up coming all the way across and inserting there. And this is just a good hard run here to pick up some very important points for some. So that's it for this week's episode of The Film Room. Another nice victory for USF. Always fun to look at these after a big win. We'll be back next week looking at the North Texas game. Hopefully that's another fun one. Has the potential to have a lot of points. I think there's also potential for USF to possibly win comfortably. Hard to tell. North Texas, the strength of schedule is such that I don't think you can really make too many definitive statements about them. Besides, I think they'll have a pretty good offense. So it will be a good test for the USF defense. We'll see how USF's offense attacks North Texas's defense, and we'll take a deeper look at that next week. Thank you guys for watching the Bay Area Examiner Film Room.